All right, guys. Welcome to today's AMA. Yeah, my name is Kepta. I'll be your host for today's AMA. Yeah, here with me is again for the past finance project. So yeah, could you please introduce yourself to us? Can you briefly describe the project? Like, what is the motivation and inspiration that got this project started? Thank you.
Beautiful. Skepta, thank you very much. And I guess to all the Samurai crew here, thank you very much for joining today. Um, I'm Ampton, and I'm the founder of PADZ. And PADZ basically changes the way that you invest in real estate one pad at a time. So essentially what we do is we provide global access to investing in real estate without some of those traditional barriers that one may find, such as maybe having a massive um, uh, financial uh, capacity, or being at the specific location that you are wanting to invest in, um, or the KYC stuff. So basically, through DeFi and the Ethereum blockchain, we can allow everybody in the world to invest in real estate with as little as just a couple of dollars. And that's really our mission here at PADZ. So I'm a real estate agent up in Canada. I've been a realtor there for 14 years. I'm still employed with Remax. I've been with Remax the whole time. And that's my career. I eat, sleep, and breathe real estate. I absolutely love it. In a few hours, I have an appointment showing some properties, and this evening I'm meeting with some sellers, and I really do enjoy that. And kind of what happened over the last couple of years is I kind of had this thought, um, why couldn't I buy a half of a home, or um, myself and a few friends or a few family members go out and buy a home together, or um, maybe if I had 100 people and we all focused our funds and we put it towards the house. But you just can't do that. And with home prices, they're known to appreciate over time. Property has always been considered an appreciating and a very desirable asset, but it's a challenge to get into the market. And so what we're really trying to do is revolutionize this space or modernize it. This industry is so dated, and what we're trying to bring is the 21st century approach to investing in real estate. So hope that wasn't too long or too boring, but that's kind of the long story of what we do and why we do it.
Mama, yeah, it was not, actually, it was, really great answer from you. So, yeah, moving on to my first question for today's Amy. Yeah, so I would really love to know, like, how did you guys came up with the idea of, creating your project and naming the project parts, and also was it due to some kind of impermanent loss or some similar personal experience that made you understand that there will be room for such solutions?
So the it was basically uh, uh, dining room conversation where this idea started. It was about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, for the reasons that I mentioned. And there's just nothing else out there. There's if you can go into the real estate section in Coin Market Cap. There's a few projects in that sector. There's might be one or two that kind of do, maybe trying to do something similar, but nothing like this. And we know that there's a a huge desire for, hey, we're not investing everywhere. We're very specific about where we choose, and we know that there's a huge demand for that. So the name PADZ is kind of coming from the bachelor pad, or I may say, refer to your home as, a nice pad. And so that's where the name comes from. And of course, the line's great with a frog and a lily pad.
Yeah, actually that's great. Yeah, so moving on to my next question, let's talk about your team members. Like talking about your team members, like have you guys met in real life? Because we are curious to know about your team member. Have you guys met in real life, or you guys just met in the crypto space and decided to create this project? I don't even know if you got my question.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So, really, my experience is most in the real estate world. Um, Obviously, helping clients and stuff, as you know, but I've done transactions on my own as well, whether that's flipping homes or renting homes. And so over those 14 years, I've gained a lot of great partnerships and a really solid network in the real world. Um, I've been investing in crypto since 2017. This is my first project. This is my only project, and I'm not planning on building another project ever. This is my baby. But I've partnered with, as we've grown this, and like I said, we've actually started this a couple of years ago, and so there's been several people, investors, and crypto enthusiasts that have reached out. We've partnered with a couple of them. We have an awesome chief marketing officer who his job is the crypto partnerships and the support on that side. So we understand that we need a good team, and I can't do everything, and I'm not good at everything. So we're picking, and we have a great crew. I actually see a couple on here right now that have been helping us out, um, and so we're kind of working on this as like a community effort a little bit. But I've really excelled in the real world and the connections and the partnerships, and we've partnered with. We have a good team of guys in the crypto world that have brought on, even in just the last week or two, have brought on several partnerships, and so they're really helping out with that.
Yeah. That was amazing. That was great. Yeah. Thanks for answering that my question. Yeah. So moving on to, let's talk about the token aspect of the project. So like, can you share the project token and applicability to the community?
Gotcha. Yeah. So our token is not launched yet, and I'll be very clear: we are not launching until February 19. There are scams out there. We've seen a couple of them already this morning show up. Don't fall for them. If it's not announced on our official page by me, Ampton, do not believe it. Don't invest in anything. Um, February 19th, we are launching on Ethereum. The PADZ token supply is 1 billion tokens. It's quite a simple smart contract. What's unique about PADZ is we kind of have two separate divisions to our ecosystem. So on one side we have our token of 1 billion supply. We have a 7% buy and sell tax. We know taxes, nobody likes taxes, but we do offer a 2% allocation to our holders, and this is paid in USDT, and this is on every single buy and sell transaction of the contract, instantly airdropped to your wallet. And this is to incentivize long-term holders and loyalty. And in addition to that 2%, we have a portion going to auto liquidity to stabilize our market and allow for trading. 7 that goes towards our ecosystem. Now that will get strategically invested into marketing, website, exchanges, all of that good stuff. In addition to supporting the other part of our ecosystem, which is the fact that we go out and we buy real world properties and we rent them out and we generate a positive cash flow, and that money gets funneled back into our ecosystem as well. And so we understand that everybody would prefer 0% taxes, but quite frankly, it's not sustainable. And we don't want to have to fundraise. It just doesn't go along with our business plan. We are purchasing real world assets to back our token. And that's an expensive process. This is an expensive business. So that's kind of the reason behind the taxes and the tokenomics. And you mark your calendar, 6 days from now, February 19th is when we will be launching on Uniswap.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah. So let's talk about like okay, let's do it this way. Okay, okay. Could you please tell me on investors like what has been like your biggest challenge in the creation of the Path Finance project, and like how were you able to solve this challenge?
Um, the biggest challenge is that um, this is new for me, and this is something that we are learning, every single day as we go along. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I've created 100 different projects and they've all worked out or whatever the case. This is the one project that I'm working on, the only one I'm working on. But the challenge is that I've been working on this for a while. Now, I'll back up to the beginning of this story, and that's in March 2022. I had this idea, and at the time, all I knew was the Binance network, and that's the only platform I knew how to create a contract on. And so I thought, hey, you know what? We'll list pads on Pixel. We'll try and generate 350 to 700 BNB. It was several $100,000. I figured that's what we needed to prove our concept, to take that funds. We started at a large market cap. We can buy a home right away. We can get it rented out. We can prove our concept. The problem was we didn't fulfill our pre-sale. So we had some investors, but ultimately it was unsuccessful. And after that, I tabled the idea, and I just let it sit. And we didn't do anything with it, but it really bothered me. I knew it was a great idea. We had some interest, but not as much as we needed. And now all of a sudden, a couple of years later, we're hearing of this narrative, this the Ethereum ETF tokenization of assets. Larry Fink's talking about it on global TV. This is coming, and what I thought is, although there might have been a number of issues why it was unsuccessful in the past, one of them may have been that it was a little too early. And so, because this has been my baby for a while, and I'm one of those guys that, when I set my mind to something, I'll see it out. I will succeed. I don't care what it takes. And so here we are again. And it may have been a blessing in disguise, because I've spent 2 years researching and learning and thinking this over and discussing with advisors and people in the real world, as well as some of the investors that actually invested in the pre-sale. Over the last couple of years, a few of them have actually reached out to me personally and said, we need to make this happen. Like, we understand it was unsuccessful. Let's, let me help, right? Let's figure out a way how to do this. So I think we're in a much better position now. We're stronger, we're more educated, we're more well-versed, we have a bigger team, and I believe we're on a better blockchain. Our rewards, the tokenomics are better. Everything's distributed in USDT. There's going to be no selling pressure in regards to holders or anybody getting the PADZ token automatically. So they're not going to be dumping. They get it in USDT. Marketing wallet gets it in USDT. So everything is much more sustainable. And the strategy has changed a little bit as well. We don't have that property right now. We're going to be launching at a very, very low market cap on February 19th, under 20 grand, for example. We're just finalizing things. And after we grow our community and engage with these holders, this will grow. And once we have the funds, then we will be able to invest it in the property and start proving the concept. So tackling this at a bit of a different approach, but we're gonna make sure we see it through this time.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, so moving on to my next question. So like what benefits does your project brings to the community, and how can you secure that benefit?
So when you think about the cryptocurrency market, it's so volatile, and you compare that with stable coins that don't move at all because they're backed one-to-one with assets. So essentially, one of the benefits that PADZ is going to provide to its holders is that if you, for example, own 1 million PADZ tokens, that's 0.1% of the supply, you also will own 0.1% of this ecosystem, our brand, whatever assets and liabilities that we have. And so the thought is that our token is much more stable and we can mitigate a lot of risk, especially in a downturn, because we hold assets, because we own assets, we own property. So that's one of the benefits. Every property we're going to look at with a 5-year plan. This coincides with your average mortgage rate, or mortgage term. And so after 5 years, this is the plan. In 5 years, the community is going to hold a decentralized vote. Essentially, we're going to discuss: do we want to hold on to the property and rent it out for another 5 years? It's been a great investment so far. Or do we want to sell it? And what do we want to do with those proceeds? In addition, all holders are receiving 2% on every buy and sell transaction. So depending on how much volume is occurring, you could be seeing these reward dividends or airdrops showing up, multiple times a day. So that's what's really unique. That's kind of our idea of our real estate investors getting their rental checks, right? Although it's kind of built into the tokenomics, it's a real fun way of getting some rental income. And this is one big ecosystem, so both parts are going to be supporting each other. But those are a couple of benefits to our holders.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, this project. I think this project will, really be a great project. So, yeah. Moving on to my next question. Yeah, we are running out of time. Yeah. So my next question. Let's talk about the revenue model, the revenue aspects of the project. So like, apart from the strength of your team, which I think consists of great people, revenue is something that's very important for the for the growth and the progress of the project. So how do you generate profits to keep your projects going? And also, what is your revenue model? How can this provide a win-win situation for all stakeholders, users, investors, and the project? I don't even think I'm a question.
Yeah, no, I do. That's another great question. We understand that this business model is very sensitive. There's a lot of money going in and out. We have to be overly transparent. And one thing that we're working on sorting out right now is how can we audit this ecosystem and how can we share that with the public? Who can be that escrow? So, for example, that lawyer that, for example, can audit this and could be verified. So, what we envision is, for example, whether every month or every quarter, having this audited out in the public. Um, we're hiring a lawyer to facilitate this, and that's all public. And so basically, you would be able to even to phone this lawyer and say, is this all correct? Is this accurate? Do you verify this? Because we understand that there's a lot of moving parts here, and cryptocurrency is notorious for shady stuff and deception. And so I it's this is the transparency part is at the very forefront of our mind, because everything you got to keep in mind, our business PADZ operates in the real world. It has to be, it has to operate legally. It has to be upfront. My signature is out there. I'm meeting with lawyers. I'm not a criminal. I can't be a criminal. If I'm a criminal, I'll get fired from Remax and I'll lose my career. So everything is upfront and will be totally out in the open and verifiable. So and we're, like I said, we're just finalizing the details on that. So basically, on the token side, all of the wallets will be made public. I know you guys can figure that out anyways, but that'll all be public, so you guys can monitor that. And then on the other side, we'll have this auditing process of the properties. They're each going to have a balance sheet, so you'll be able to see, what it cost, how much went into it. If we had to replace a furnace on this day, who had to replace that? Did that increase the market value? Why was that done? There's so many elements that are going to go into this other part here. But I assure you that everything will be out there for everybody to see and audit and verify. I'm in my real estate, like in my city here in Canada, over 1 million people, in the industry, in the real estate industry, I'm actually known for my morals and ethics. And that's important to me. I'm a young guy. I started in real estate when I was 18 years old. I was the youngest realtor in the big city. And from day one, my reputation's been important to me because I'm going to be doing this for many more decades. So I can't lie. I can't scam. Um, if something's not right, I can't sleep at night, and that's just how I have been wired. So you can assure that. In fact, what I was telling the CMO, I said, you know what, I can't guarantee that you're going to make a lot of money, and I can't guarantee that this is going to be successful. The only thing I can guarantee you is that I'm not going to lie to you and I'm not going to scam you. And that's about it. Other than that, I'm going to do my best. And quite frankly, that's maybe all you can even ask for in this crypto world. But
Yeah, that's very, so according to what you were saying, I came up with a question. So like, would you like, yes, like more more of a clarification. This question is more of a clarification. So, like, I would love to know that what have you guys implemented to prevent attacks, most especially during your pre-session era? Yeah, and so yeah, the question comes. So don't you think it would be a better idea for you guys to like you guys? Okay, let's do this. So, do you guys have any plans on having a verification badge on all of your socials, as that could serve as an e-certificate and also compete against people that might want to see your ideas. I don't know if you get my question.
Oh, exactly. No, 100%. We just got the Twitter verification because Evan, our marketing guy, he says you gotta have this. Go get it done. So I say, okay, yeah, no problem. I'll get it done. So keep in mind, I'm learning too. I some of these things I'm really relaying and relying on my core team. And when they instruct me to do something, I'm all on board. So that's kind of how we operate. So um, I the Twitter badge, for example, it wasn't. I don't know. I think everybody's asking for $10 a month, $50 a year, whatever, right? And in a new project stage, we have to be very careful about where we are putting our funds because we don't have an unlimited amount of funds, and our focus really is marketing. So we're doing a ton of marketing. We have a ton of stuff planned. And so some of these other things like this, these verification badges and stuff have not been on the top of my priority list. But as soon as one of my core team brings it up and says, you know what, you got to do this, get it done, I'm all on board. So we got the Twitter one done. I think that's the only one that we have so far. But I guess I know what I'm going to be doing this afternoon.
Yeah, that's great. It's that verification badge is really important. Yeah, so investors can get to find your project that quick because some scammers out there might wants to steal your ideas. Yeah. So you guys having a verification badge can separate you guys from those scammers. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So moving on to
100%.
my next. Yeah. So moving on to my next question. So let's talk about the language barrier of the project. So like I was reading your website and I saw that you guys had it all written in English. So my question now is like, do you guys have plans on like have plans on creating a tutorial video for like non-English speaking countries that might wants to invest in the project? Like, I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. I do. There's a couple of things that we are actually working on. So one of them is translating our website into different languages. M- Although I'm in Canada, most of our community is on the other side of the world, and so it's important that we cater to where our community is. So we are working on that, and the other thing we're working on is just an educational component. So um, just an animation video, just kind of explaining, or I guess showing what we do, how we do it, and how simple it is. Because I know, for me being in this industry, it's very simple concept. It's something I understand. In fact, I've helped clients do this stuff before. Not with the crypto stuff, but with purchasing homes under a corporation and creative financing and stuff. And but I understand that it's not very simple for everybody. So um, we're working on the translating our website. We're also working on an educational component. But you gave me another idea to combine the two, and maybe this educational component is also in other languages. So we'll continue working on that. But yes, that is on our internal roadmap, something that we are working on.
That's great. Yeah. So I got three more to four questions to ask before we move on to the communities question. Yeah. So I want to know when it comes to the funding aspect of your project. So like how do you create a balance between you and investors in order for you and investors to benefit a lot from your project when it comes to the funding aspect and regarding the token aspect. I would like to know like how you guys plan to maintain a balance of value of your token when it comes to the day-to-day changes of markets.
Yeah, so the money, um, kind of how how we'll start is we're going to launch the token and we're going to generate those dividends. Um, 3% going to the ecosystem. Um, Believe it or not, that adds up very quickly. For example, even the well, say 3%, say on $100,000 24-hour volume, that's $3,000 a day going into the ecosystem and $2,000 going to our holders. So that can add up quite quickly, and so that's how we're going to start is with the token. Now, in the real world, I have clients and investors who are interested in this idea. They want to see that we have the support from the crypto world, and we want to see a successful token launch. And you'll notice on our website that we have allocated 10% of our token supply towards a seed round. A seed round is basically an initial set of investors, and so that would be another way for us if we ended up, our goal is to secure a property this quarter. So time is running out. We basically kind of have a month and a half, you know, to secure the first property. So if the rewards that are generated aren't enough, for example, that would be a great opportunity to bring in an investor, and this would be someone in the real world, a property investor who's a bit of a visionary and an innovator and wants to do something different, maybe has some real estate already but sees this as a unique opportunity and a way to diversify, and and we would do an OTC transaction for that, and then and that would be in the amount of tens of thousands of dollars, right? And so that would be actually enough to start securing properties. Um, you 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 need a good one to start, and there's a lot of ways for us to increase the value, to refinance. There's a lot of creative financing options. There's a lot of ways for us to pull out equity, but you do have to get that first one done, and you have to get a good purchase on the first one. So we do have a plan, to move forward.
Right, all right. Yeah, that was a great explanation from your end. Yeah, so moving on to my next question. So could you please tell us like how's the team working to bring this project to more users?
Well, so the CMO's job is partnerships in the crypto world. So within 2 or 3 hours of hiring him, he had already secured a partnership with Bitbrex, which is great for long-term support for us. And then just a few days later, he secured a partnership with Agron Coin, which is basically just another very unique niche crypto coin in the agricultural world. And so kind of our philosophy is we're open for collaboration. We understand there's enough business out there for everybody, and I might be able to help you and you may be able to teach me a thing or two. So we're um, because we're an open book over here. We believe that we're all in this together as a family in the crypto world. There isn't that competition, and so we welcome communities of other, or holders of other communities and vice versa. And so that's kind of how we've been growing so far, is just by supporting each other. In the future, we are working on some real estate specific workshops, and that we may have a workshop on creative financing, for example, or how to pick a tenant, or how to market a property, or things to look for. And so we're creating a really unique community of like-minded real estate, passionate people for real estate, where we can bounce these ideas back and forth. We can discuss cap rates and tenants and things to look out for. And we understand that a lot of our community, they have investments in the real world, and we're not trying to take away from that. We're just providing a new, innovative approach to what they're doing.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. So I actually I got two questions to ask. Yeah, before we move on to this communities question. So could you please like what is your strategy for ensuring adequate liquidity on exchange to fill or market orders? Yeah, especially as adoption grows and as investors begin to multiply um over the years for the part finance project.
Yeah, so the way that we're structured is that 51% of our token supply is allocated towards liquidity. Um, on February 19th, I will inject the first amount of liquidity to start trading. We're just finalizing the details on this, but it might be a 25% chunk of the supply, for example. Our target is 51%, as I mentioned. However, our tokenomics allows for 2% tax going straight automatically to the liquidity pool. So once we start trading, even with the 25%, after trading begins, a portion of the rewards, that portion of the 7% actually goes towards building up the liquidity. So there's a couple different ways that we're going to be monitoring this. First off, that we do want a majority supply being out there, so the 51% at least. But we also understand that we can potentially reduce our taxes by 2%, with removing that auto liquidity injection in the future if we meet our 51% target. So it's a bit of a revolving door that has to be monitored. But rest assured, and that initial liquidity that we put out there, I'll lock it for a year or something like that. But we'll get to that 51%, and once we do, then we'll be able to trim the taxes a little bit.
All right. Yeah. So thanks for answering that of my question. Yeah. So moving on to my next question. Yeah. Before we move on to the communities question. So yeah, let's talk about the staking aspect of the project. Like when it comes to the staking, when staking my tokens, are you guys gonna be creating a bot whereby anytime I stake a token, yeah, half will be distributed to the time and half will be sent to me as my commission or profit? Will I be getting a daily profit or a weekly profit? And can I be able to lock my tokens for years or months if I don't want to withdraw it?
So what we provide is a bit of a different outlook on what you would call staking. So nothing is locked up. You get your rewards. All you have to do is hold the PADZ token. There are no strings attached, with the exception of you have to own at least 5,000 of the PADZ tokens, which at launch will be something like 50 cents or something like that. You don't have to stake anything. You don't have to lock anything. That's not our business plan. We don't we're not going down that route. Once a wallet owns the PADZ token, at least 5,000 of the PADZ tokens, the smart contract will automatically take a portion of the 2% tax and distribute it proportionally to your wallet. So if you own 1% of the total supply and there's 24 hours of $100,000 of 24-hour volume, there's $2,000 of rewards generated. Your portion of that would be $20 because you own 1% of that. And so there's no commitment, there's no lockup, there's nothing you have to do. It's all built into the smart contract. You just have to hold the PADZ token, and you get your USDT rewards, and it comes instantly the minute that there's a buy and sell transaction. There's no, you don't have to wait 24 hours or a week or a month or anything like that. And that will begin on block number 1. Well before any properties are purchased, any incomes generated from properties, those rewards are set.
All right. Yeah. So, thanks for answering all of my questions. Yeah. So, is there anything you feel we haven't touched on or talked about before we move on to the community's question?
I don't think so. I think we've covered it. You have some great questions. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah. So, hey guys, if you guys have some question for Amtin, yeah. I hope I'm pronouncing your name the right way. Please raise your hands. Yeah. So I see Mr. Mouse. Mr. Mouse, I'm giving you a chance to ask a question. Yeah, please ask a question, Mr. Mouse.
After they look at it for me. Hello, can you hear me? I'm audible.
Right. Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Hello, can you hear me? Oh, all right, all right. So let me just go straight to my question. So my first question is, how do you want to make your project the best from other one? Since you guys are still in the stage of development and doing a lot of marketing, more people will come into the project and want to use your platform. So how sure are you that there won't be glitches or bug as more people use your platform at the same time? And if we complain, how fast will you guys be on helping and solving these issues?
Yeah. So first off, I'm around, but I'm in Canada time zone. Right. It's about 11 a.m. right now. We have a great team of mods, and they are around the clock tackling if there are any issues. But I am soon to be doxxed, and if there was an emergency, for example, like you were a holder or something like that, and there was an emergency, you could technically call my work line and actually speak with me. So this is something where everything is public and out in the open. We're doing things a little bit differently here, just because we are integrated in the real world. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah. All right. So I have one more question to ask before I drop the mic. I don't know if I can go on.
I'm okay with it. Skepta, if you're good with it, go ahead, Mr. Mouse.
Yeah, Mr. Mouse. Do you still have any question for Amtin?
Yeah. I still have one more. So
All
I don't
right.
know if I should go on. All right. So my last question is, do you have any tutorial video that can explain more better to people who are new to crypto space? And I don't know if you guys I can do the video in different languages like France, Indonesia, and other countries. So I don't know if you guys have that in mind.
We do have it in mind. It's not finished yet, but we are working on an educational video on how our ecosystem works very simply. And it was just brought up, and so now we'll try and think of how we can incorporate that video into other languages. But we are working on translating the website into different languages as well. So I would expect, if we talk in the next couple of weeks, we'll have a lot of that done for you.
All right, all right, all right. Thanks for the clarification, brother. I wish you guys all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Moss.
Yeah, Mr. Mouse. Yeah, thanks for asking those great questions. Yeah. So let's take a question from the chat. Yeah. So there's this question I saw from uh Taona was asking. So what promise or guarantee do you offer for us who are going to invest in this project? On which one?
Can you repeat that for me?
Can you hear me? Sorry, I was having a network, a kind of network. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So it was Taona was asking, what promise or guarantee do you have for us who are going to invest that this project on which we are investing we be successful and valuable. I don't know if you get his question.
Okay, yeah, no, I got it. Basically, um, the we're not going to guarantee that we're going to be successful. Um, I can't guarantee that this is going to be valuable. I can't guarantee that you'll make money. I can't promise any of that. The things that I can promise is that I'm a go-getter, and when I set my mind towards something, I see it through, and I obsess myself with it. And I've been known. There's many instances in my life where I've been well ahead of the pack, and um, so what I can guarantee you is that this is my baby. This is my only project. I'm not building anything else. I won't be building anything else. This is my true passion, and you're investing in me. And so we don't know what the future is going to look for us. We don't know if the world's going to end tomorrow, but I can promise you that if it does end tomorrow, I'll still be around and we'll still be trying to figure out how to move forward.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I hope you got your answer, Tawana. Yeah, there was this amazing question I saw from the chat from Joella. So Joella was asking, since part finance is about real life use case, which is real estate. Yeah. So he was asking, I just want to know if there is a feature whereby holders of your token can purchase a property and assist with property rental or sales. Also in your tokenomics, I noticed that 9% of the total supply is allocated to the owner. Why is this allocated only to the owner and not the team? This might be like a red flag for investors.
Okay, so that's just the owner's wallet. So that's just the token creator's wallet. So that's the main ecosystem. So that's not my personal wallet. That is the PADZ owner, the PADZ corporation, the ecosystem wallet. That's kind of the main one. That's what's left in the pot once everything else gets taken out. And in regards to the other question, that's not so much what we do. If you have a home that you want to purchase in your town, um, our community can probably recommend maybe a real estate agent or someone to look out for, but we wouldn't represent you in the purchase or sale of a property or a rental. That would be a real estate agent's job that's licensed in that particular area.
Thanks for answering that question from Joella. Yeah, Joella, I hope you got your answer. Yeah. So there was this question I saw from the chat from FMK. So FMK was asking, Do you guys consider community feedback or requests during the creation of your project in order to expand on fresh ideas for a project? Many projects fails because the target audience and clients are not understood. So I'd like to know what your ideal consumer is for your project. What's your ideal
Well, yeah.
brother?
So what's kind of interesting is that 2 years ago I rushed it out on my own, right, on BSC. Uh, it was the only thing I knew. It was an idea that I had, put it out there, and over the last couple of years, I've had investors of that pre-sale, which, as I mentioned, unsuccessful. We did not launch. There was never another PADZ token. But we had investors reach out in the meantime. And I've had some very awesome conversations with people all across the world who who align with this vision and have different suggestions and different tactics and strategies. So this whole concept has kind of been nursed for the last couple of years, and those changes that we heard from the community, we got a chance to implement them and change it. So absolutely, and really our ideal consumer or customer is just someone who sees value in investing in real estate, but maybe doesn't have the means to do it. And so that's who we that's our target market.
All right. Yeah. So let's take one more question from the live VC. Yeah. So I just unmuted Mr. IC. Yeah. Mr. IC, are you there? Yeah. Could you please ask your question?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how you doing, buddy?
Awesome, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Yeah, so I just want to ask a quick question. Yeah, so my question is when it comes to the funding aspect of this project, yeah, so how do you plan to maintain the value of the token when it comes to day-to-day changes of markets? You got the question?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And that's really what is unique about us is that hopefully by the time of a market downturn, that we are holding on to some assets, so that the token is a lot more stable than some of the other ones, right? Your stable coin doesn't move at all. Bitcoin will fluctuate 70-80% without blinking an eye. Hopefully we find ourselves somewhere in the middle there, because we are holding on to some assets that are in a different market. So i'm I'm a much more reserved investor, and I'm a firm believer in diversification. And so this really appeals to that, because you got your token, but and on the other hand, we own property. And so if the real estate market tanks, hopefully the crypto market is supporting that, and it could be vice versa. And even one step further than that, in the future, our real estate will be diversified. So we are starting in Canada, but the second property or third or fourth, it might be in Africa, or it may be in Belize. And so the chance of the whole world collapsing at the same time is quite small. So that's how we try to mitigate and manage that risk, is by diversifying.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. That clarify my question. Yeah, and I just have one more question to ask. Yeah. So what has been your biggest challenge in developing your project, and how were you able to solve the problems?
Just not give up. I'm a firm believer that this is a great idea, and with some things in life, I've been too early. And my suggestion is just don't give up. Um, many instances in my life, I've had to um, uh, go against the grain and be the outsider and the leader. and it's always paid off. You just have to keep on pushing forward.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for clarifying my question. You did answer my question. Yeah. Just a quick one. I am the owner of Bitmess Finance Community, and I would like to have you one day, to my community to share your projects.
There we go. Everyone knows where to find me.
Mr. X, do you still have anything to say to Auntie?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah. As I was just
Do you
saying.
still have any question for Auntie?
No. He has clarified on my question.
All right. So yeah, I'll be muting your mic. Yeah. So actually there was this question I saw from the chat. Yeah. This question was from um two, 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 two. Yeah. So this question was from Shuki. So he was asked. She was asking why are people holding tokens for the future? Some coins slash token will be discarded after the pre-sale. How will your team handle this? How do you find a way to turn the dumper into this project? I don't know if that's a question.
Well, there's not much that we're going to be able to do with our the liquidity that we put out there. Um, if if someone buys the token, they can dump it. We're not doing a pre-sale. Um, that's one of the reasons why we're not. And so the other tokens that we have control over, for example, I mentioned this seed round allocation. This is going to be towards investors that I'm actually meeting with on the real world, that I know their true intentions. Maybe people I've even known for years that I trust aren't going to dump. We're very, very cautious about the selling pressure. I've been in other projects that receive the native token as rewards, and it's just constant selling pressure, and it just kills the chart. So we're very, very cautious about that, and we'll do what we can to foster long-term loyalty and engagement. But at the end of the day, yeah, there's only so much that we can do as well.
Yeah. So I hope you got your answer, Shoki. Yeah. So yeah, we have come to the end of today's AMA. Yeah. So any last words for the investors?
Just thank you guys very much for joining. Thank you for the questions. And if you have other questions that you didn't get a chance to ask, hop on over to our Telegram. I'd be happy to meet you over there. And Skepta, thank you very much for hosting this, and Black Monarch for organizing. And I see Pythagoras here as well. Awesome mod. So we got a great team. So thank you very much to everybody.
All right. Yeah. Once again, thank you for choosing our community pioneering. So actually, I got one question to ask. Yeah. Can I ask? Are you there?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So are you guys still open to um AMA proposals?
If you have or if anybody has a proposal, they can DM me. But I'll be very clear, we're not booking anything at this point.
All right. Yeah. So yeah. Once again, thanks for coming to this Samurai Crypto Club from AMA. Yeah. So I'll be ending the recording right now. Yeah. So I'll be forwarding the recording to Black Monarch. Yeah. and he will be sending a record over to you. Yeah, thanks once again, and everyone, thanks for attending today's AMA.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day.